Hi, my name is Emily McCoy, and I am a certified teacher librarian, and today we are going to learn about how to sort books to decide which section of the library they should go in. So let's get started. Number one. First of all, you need to decide which grade level the book is appropriate for. So is the book kindergarten to third grade level? Is the book fourth to sixth grade level? Is the book middle school to high school level? And then you need to decide, so you're going to put those in 3 piles, and then you'll go through each pile and you'll decide, is it fiction or is it nonfiction? Fiction meaning that the story is made up or pretend, where nonfiction is real facts about people, places, and things. So if it's fiction, there's 2 different sections. First of all, if it's a picture book, which is mostly illustrated pictures, then we call that the everyone section because everyone can read those stories. And if it's a chapter book with multiple chapters, they usually have a thicker spine and have multiple chapters, then we call that the fiction section. So how do you know if a book goes in the everyone section? Now, kindergarten through third and fourth to sixth grade schools will often have the biggest everyone section because those are the types of children that read those. But even in the middle school and high school, I do have a small shelf that has some everyone books. Now, at the everyone section is fiction only. So only fictional stories or stories that are made up or pretend can go in the everyone section. They also, books in the everyone section have mostly illustrations. They have a lot of illustrations, and there's usually one on every single page. They also will have a thinner spine. So, for example, okay, this is a book that would be in the everyone section, and you can see how the spine is very thin. And it also has just a few words on each page, just a small paragraph with lots of illustrations. And everyone can read this books in this section. So we like to call it the everyone can read section. So I love that about it. All right, so how do you know if it goes in the fiction section? All right, so when it comes to the fiction, usually these books are a lot, they're a lot thicker. Their spine is much thicker. They also have very few illustrations throughout the book. In fact, this book has no illustrations. So a lot of the fiction books don't have very few illustrations or no illustrations. They have multiple chapters and are often called chapter books. And I would say that they are over 150 pages on average. This one right here is almost 400 pages. So this is considered a little bit thicker. And then, like I said, the books have a thicker spine, and often the words or the vocabulary is more challenging. So this is an example of a fiction section, because all of these books are fiction books. And you'll notice that the spine labels have FIC and then 3 letters underneath it. And that represents the author's last name. So a lot of libraries, and this is what I recommend, is you actually spell out the word fiction and then put the author's last name, the full author's last name at the end. So if it was this book right here, then it would be fiction on the spine label, and then Hale, which is the author's last name. Sorry, there we go. Which is the author's last name. That's what you would want it to look like. All right, if it's nonfiction, which is books that are facts about true people, places, and things, then this is how you know if it's a nonfiction book. So if it's real. If it's a book about real life, people, places, or things, like I said. Number 2, if it's factual, it actually has factual information in the book. Often these books will have a table of contents. They might include charts, diagrams, tables, graphs. They have indexes and references, and often a bibliography. The final thing they have is content. So you want to look at the text inside of their book. If there's only a few words on a page, then it's probably a K through 3 book. If there's more content and more text and the vocabulary is a little bit more challenging, then that's going to be more of a 4th to 6th grade book. And if the page is mostly words and smaller type with much more challenging vocabulary, then that's going to be middle school and high school. All right, so possible nonfiction sections that you might find in your library. First of all, could be psychology, religion, social sciences. That covers anything from how the military is run, how the government runs, customs, folklore, things like that happen. Languages, learning about different languages could be a section. Science, art, history and geography, and math. So those are some general nonfiction sections. Often people will also add an extra section and call it biography. And that section is a book or books about people's lives. So real life people that have lived, and it's a story documenting their life. So many of your donated nonfiction books may have spine labels already on them. And some libraries use what's called the Dewey Decimal System. And this is a general reference to the numbers you might find, and they will help you put them in the correct section. So for example, if I run into a book that is about, that says 430, then I can look at this over here, and 430 says German and related languages. So that means it's a book about learning German. Now, if you find one that's in the 590 to 599, 590 to 599, those are books about animals. And so that would be in the science section. Maybe you're reading something about psychology, the study of the mind. And psychology is in the 150 to 159. So if that number is on that book, then that would go in the psychology section. So this reference sheet is going to be extremely helpful in maybe helping you categorize where to put different books in the library. This is an example of a nonfiction shelf. You'll notice that 520 is actually for astronomy. This is a shelf that's for the Dewey Decimal System. But the beauty of all of this is that you would actually put nonfiction as the first letter, and then the section that it would go in, so it would be science, and then you would put the author's last name on the spine label. So here is an example of a possibility for that. So what I put on the spine label for this Earth book was I did nonfiction, science, and Van Rose. So those are the words. It's kind of hard to see, so that's why. But you can see I put nonfiction, science, and Van Rose. So that's what's going to go on those spine labels. So for example, if you find a book with the spine label of 546.22, And then you look at the Dewey Decimal List, 540 says chemistry. So any numbers between 540 and 549 are chemistry books, or for a more general section, science. So that is a little bit about how to sort books. And the thing I love about reading and libraries is that reading gives us a place to go when we have to stay where we are. And that is one of the things I love the most about reading, is that it can take you to places that you've never been before. So I will also be doing a demonstration that will be part of this video, and I will walk you through exactly how I sort and organize through the books. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.